The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 160. Today's date is Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. And before we get going with the show, I want to say welcome, everybody. If you're out there in the live chat, please say hello. We don't know if you're out there unless you say something. If you're new to the channel, new to the show, please let us know you're out there. Tell us where you're from. We'll shout you out. Make sure that everyone's welcome. We hope we don't make you any dumber than you already are. We can't promise that. We're going to try to entertain you a little bit, maybe have a discussion. But I can't guarantee we're going to make any smarter. But really, that's not our job. Our job is to have a little fun and pass some knowledge and some opinions around. As always, this episode is brought to you by our good friends at the Sportsman's Guide. So, guys, if you're out there and you have anything that you need, whether it's outdoor related, whether it's hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, shooting, obviously, all the shooting sports and all that stuff, can't guarantee ammo right now, but I don't think anyone can guarantee any ammo anywhere. But if you have anything that you are looking for outdoors needs, go check out our good friends at sportsmansguide.com and all of that jazz. You can obviously leave us comments in the side chat, and we'll try to get to as many of those as we can. Please tag myself or one of us in the panel, and we'll try to get to those questions. And if you want to text or call the questions in, you can utilize the hotline down below, the Ghost Tactical Hotline, presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates of the Gun Cleaners. That phone number is 530-364-4678. Before we get going, let's say hello to our, I would call them esteemed panel, but I don't know if they really are, but we'll start with them. From North Carolina, the guy that looks like he is the deer in the headlights right now, Mr. Gear Report himself. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
You know, this is a big day for me. It's a huge day for me.
It should have been a huge day for you, but it wasn't, was it?
No, don't interrupt me, dude. All right, it's your show, but I'm talking now. All right, we'll see how long I can get away with that. He's about to mute me. I can feel it.
I feel the ejection.
Every week, I listen to this show. Right when I'm working in the garage, I listen to this. I'm on it now. Oh my goodness, look at that! The hair is standing up on my arm. This is like really cool. So
this is like the 10th time you've been on the show. It's not like it's a new thing for you, bro.
I'm not allowed to be excited every time. Come on.
Sure, we appreciate you. No, we're happy that you're happy. How about that?
Look at the panel here, man. How do I get to be a part of this? This is like one of these days y'all are going to figure out who I am, and like, no, we're not letting that joke.
I think someone now, baby, linked by mistake. They sent you linked by mistake, so it G-webs you.
Ooh.
Did I go there? I think you moved there. It's all good. So you were supposed to get the Humvee today, but it did not happen. Is that a sore subject?
No, you know, it's one of those things that I got the phone call that said, hey, man, it was raining like crazy. So it was the driver that was going to pick it up. I had scheduled it at her request. I scheduled an 8 a.m. pickup in Georgia. And I get the call at 8:05. I'm like, oh, yeah, she's on time. She's got it loaded. I'm going to get this truck, midday today. It's going to be awesome. And instead the call was, it was raining like crazy. But while she was driving overnight, so I couldn't see. I pulled off at a rest stop. I was going to take a half-hour nap. Woke up hours later and like still 265 miles away from the pickup point. So I was like, hey, probably. What could I say? I said, listen, your job is to get this truck to me safely. So, do what you have to, get it to me, but, be safe. Don't break anything. Be safe.
I'm surprised you didn't go meet her somewhere halfway or something.
No, I don't have any way to get it back. It runs, but the brakes don't work apparently. So I'm going to have to go.
Who needs brakes?
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
Tomorrow. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be the other big day.
We're going to see some Instagram picks, I'm sure they'll be out there once you get it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be exciting, I'm sure. Is it going to match being on the Armed Citizen podcast? Probably not quite that exciting, but, I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. We're glad to have you, bud. From the great state, it's an okay state. It's like the little brother of Arkansas. But from the state of Kansas, we've got the Tactical Chicken. What's up, Gary?
It's an okay state. No, this guy down below me, he's in the okay
AR in front of our Kansas. So
anyway, man, I'm just happy to be here, man, and to be here on a panel with people like you and Clover Tack and the Gun Snob and whoever this other guy is here.
This guy over here, I don't know.
Yeah.
I always get backwards on this thing. I don't know which way to point, so I think it's this way. And from the OK state, Oklahoma, where the wind blows, whatever the words are to that song. I'm sure he can finish that for us.
Wow.
We got the Gun Snob who not only did he hit 5,000 subs, dude, this dude is powering through. He'll be at 10,000 before we know it. What's up, Snob?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Just hanging out, doing research while I'm on here.
Video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Everybody's asking for a worse gun state, so I figured that one went over good, so I'll do a worst. There's like 500 comments in there saying, are you going to do a worst?
That'd be interesting. I think we can probably guess at least 5. I don't know in the order. We can probably guess the 10. I don't know the order they would be, but it's relatively obvious. But I'd be interested to see how the actual analytics and the data backs up.
Well, I'm doing this the same way as I did the other one, so I'm adding in, cost of living and that kind of stuff in there. So,
yeah,
unemployment, all that.
There you go. Let's see here. Midnight says, if anyone on the panel could eat 5,000 subs, it would be Gun Snob. So there you go. I'd probably eat 500 subs in my life. I mean, that's.
I mean, Subway's good, and when you live in a small town, pretty much all you have is Subway. So.
Yeah, we've got Subway. I tell you, I don't know if they have them in Oklahoma or not, but have you ever heard of Casey's? They're like gas stations with convenience.
Oh yeah, we have a Casey's in my town. I have a Casey's and a Subway that I switch back and forth between quite often on subs.
If you get a sandwich of theirs, they like load it up with meat and everything. It's like the price. It's might as well go to Casey's. It's a lot better sandwich, and their pizza's great. I love their pizza at Casey's.
Yeah. And if you have their rewards, I just got a free pizza Friday night after the football game because I had enough reward points.
There you go. All right. And from the great state of Texas, the tactical virus, Leprechaun himself. What is up, Clover?
I'm just curious, since there is an AR in front of Kansas for Arkansas. Is Arkansas the tactical Kansas?
Ooh, that's an interest. I might have to start using that. We're the tactical Kansas. So I guess Kansas would be like the FUD Kansas, but we're the tactical Kansas.
Maybe.
Ooh, the modern sporting Kansas.
There you go.
Digging it. I like it. Like it. We've already, who was it? Budget's out there. I heard he's at work, so be safe out there, bud. But Budget says, so does anyone else expect a crap fest of epic proportions after tonight's debate? If we could attach a generator to the spin the media will produce, there'd be free energy for all time. Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be, I think the actual debate's going to be a shit fest, honestly. I don't think that, let's kind of go ahead and jump into this because that was one of the topics is, what impact, and I'll just go through the room if you want to, or we can just jump out. I don't, you guys are all been doing this before, but what do we think that the outcome, or what do you think that the ramifications of the debate are going to have? Do you think this debate, is it going to have serious ramifications on the election, or is this just, are people even going to watch this? What do you guys think?
I think most people made up their mind already.
You think most people made up their mind already?
Yeah, this debate's entertainment. It doesn't mean a damn thing.
Because if you hear from the camps, and this is historically, not just this particular election, but typically the RNC, the DNC will say that, 10% of the left and 10% of the right have already made up their minds before this even starts. So they're going to the 80% that are undecided. But let me ask you this: of all the people that are undecided, how many of them actually get out and vote? I mean, do these debates actually not only sway their opinions one way or the other, but is it also going to motivate them to get out and vote? Because I'm not so sure what the voting numbers are going to be. Gary, what do you think about the debate? Is it gonna have any direct impact, you think, on the election?
Depends on what the result is of it. If it's so one-sided and somebody looks really weak or really bad, it could change some people's minds. Mr. Trump has a little bit of PR mess he's trying to recover from anyway with his tax returns and everything, because he hadn't paid any income tax in like 8 of the last 10 years or something like that. And the articles I've read today saying he's hoped to regain all that back with tonight's debates, but there's been so much bickering back and forth before the debate on whether they're going to have breaks or whether they're going to check for hearing devices, or the last thing I heard was they wanted to do a drug screening afterwards to make sure that Biden wasn't on a bunch of uppers just to make it through the hour and a half. So it's already a mess. It hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, I did see where the Biden camp did request breaks. So here's my thing. I want to bring Snob, Clover, either one of you, both of you, anyone in the room can answer this, but we've heard about Biden, and he's just a day away from losing his mind. We know that the Biden camp didn't even really want any debates. So has the bar been set so low for Biden that all he has to do is show up and not make a complete fool of himself to win this debate? I mean, does a substance matter at this point, or is it literally, can Biden make it through without passing out and forgetting where he is?
I think he has to perform a little bit. I think he has to. Okay. Or I don't think everybody's just going to overlook it just because they just say, oh, he made it through without falling asleep or forgetting that he's debating.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, is because, I know the DNC has tried, and I think a lot of this is just my opinion. Maybe this is my little tinfoil hat, but I think that a lot of what's happened with asking for breaks is setting up to make Biden look like he's tired and he's weak and he can't handle it. And then he comes out and he puts on this performance of epic proportions. Are they trying to literally set the bar so low that anything's a win, or is he having some serious issues to where he might need breaks? I don't know. Clover, what do you think?
I think that ultimately it doesn't change anything, right? I think people realize it's being done online when you do things like that. It's not the same as being on a stage. As far as the amount of people that are going to even watch it, I'd be interested in seeing the ratings on it, to be honest with you. For some reason, I think that, when it's held live, major networks and all this other stuff, I don't know. I see more viewers and stuff like that than an online thing. They had, if you look at the DNC convention, the RNC convention, you look at all of that mess, and even a lot of the other conferences and other big things that have been done online. Eventually, might it get better? As far as those things, yeah, probably so. But a lot of these people, this year are moving into that space, the online realm, instead of the live network TV type stuff. And it's foreign to them. They've got no experience in doing it and the production or anything else around it. So I foresee people maybe clicking onto it for a little while and then be like, nah, not my style, and going back to something else. I don't know what else is on tonight. Is there a ball game or anything?
Yeah, the MLB playoffs start. There
you go.
There's really, I'm a baseball guy, so I like watching baseball. But typically, baseball watching baseball on TV is like watching paint dry, except for when Clover does it, because it's actually entertaining when he watches paint dry. But most of the time it's like, so, but it'll be interesting. So the dog's in here, the battle pup, come here. So the battle pup's here, and she, so I have my Tat 3D mannequin here in the office, and I've got my plate carrier and some stuff on that I that's kind of put it on there. And for the first time, she's usually not allowed in my office. So she walked in and she's looking around and she looks up and sees this humanoid with a plate carrier on it. It kind of freaked her out for a second. So she wasn't sure what was going on. So that was pretty funny. But anyways, yeah. And here's the thing. Is that biker Bob out there? Holy hell. What's up, Bob? What are you saying, Jeff?
Was it taller than you?
Everything's taller than me, bro. Everything's taller than me.
Just curious. Because that weird.
I'm used to it by now. I'm standing up right now, you know.
I've got one of those same mannequins you have, pretty much.
Yeah.
And whenever I first got it, I put a hoodie on it, a hat on it, sunglasses. Yeah.
Oh, and
set it inside my front door of my house. And when my daughter, that's like 15, well, she's 16 now, but when she walked in the door, it was great.
Yeah, I've got one of my Marine Corps beanies, and I mean, I also have my plate carrier, and it's easier just to put that plate carrier on that. You know, it's just pull it off and you're ready to go. But yeah, it's pretty funny. And you walk in, you're like, oh damn, you know, especially if it's dark, you see the outline. Like,
well, I've got even a little storage building on my closet on my office, and I've opened it at night sometimes and just see the outline and kind of jump back for a half second, you know, before I realize what it is.
Yeah,
I know it's there. I actually took his head and his arms off because he kept falling over was a problem because I get stuff pushed up against him. So I'll make him lighter. So, and then I don't jump back anymore either. That was part of the reason.
Right. Well, going back and we'll have an open discussion about this, but we were talking about the debate and Biden having low expectations. You say what you want to about President Trump, here's a lot of things. One of them seems to be someone who steps up. Now, whether or not his debate skills technically are good, or if he just talks over whoever he's debating, but I'll put it to you this way. I'll be firm to say that I think that the debates he had with Hillary helped win that election for him. He was staunch about making sure that everyone knew that she was a liar, she was a crook, she was to blame for Benghazi, the FBI, everything that his points were, he was adamant about getting that point across. And so what I'm thinking is that's just me. So if he had basically no problems debating, and you can say what you want to about Hillary Clinton, but she's a bright person. And she's got extremely good debate skills. She's an attorney. She's, well educated. She's got debating skills. And he basically wiped the floor with Hillary Clinton. I can only imagine what's going to happen with someone. I'm not saying that Biden's not intelligent. I'm not saying he doesn't have debate skills. I just don't think at this point in his life, he's at the same mental level as Hillary Clinton was 4 years ago. So my personal feeling is if he had no problem debating Hillary, I don't suspect he'll have much problem with Creepy Joe. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? And just go ahead and freely talk. You don't have to wait for me to call your name.
I don't think so. I mean, Trump's got a flair for controlling the room, right? And I think that's it's the businessman later on becoming with reality TV, the showman. He's been involved with the Miss Universe, Miss America, and all that kind of stuff for many, many years. And, he's used to being in the limelight. He's used to being the center of attention and all that kind of stuff. And he knows how to command that, use that attention properly, I guess.
Yeah. How much of this do you guys think will be part of the SCOTUS nominee? Do you think that will be a major talking point, or will they even bring that up in the debate? What do you guys think about that? Nothing?
I'm sure it'll get brought up.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I know that there's a part of me that says that there's not a whole lot that Biden can say, because if he starts attacking Trump for presenting a nominee right before an election, he was vice president when they tried to ram one through. Was it in 2012? I think it was. Or was it 16? One of the elections.
It would have been 16.
16, right before Trump got elected. Yeah. And so they try to do that. So it's not like they have that say, well, you're trying to do, well, they did the same thing. And he was vice president at the time. which means that he was the president of the Senate. So go figure. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Everyone out there saying that Trump will win and get called out for elder abuse. That is Biker Bob. That's a pretty good elder abuse. I think he's actually older than Biden, is he not? Well, that mannequin is freaking her out.
I think he's younger. I think Biden would be the oldest. Yeah, I think Biden would be the oldest president.
He would be the oldest? Okay. I wasn't sure exactly. They're saying that it's still on schedule for the debate. When it does go live, we can always screen share if we want to kind of go through that. I have no problem doing that. Kind of doing a live viewing of it. I'm sure someone on YouTube will be carrying it live. We can screen share it and rebroadcast that. So yeah, it's interesting to me about the debate, because to me, I think that I don't think that it's going to have, personally, don't think it's going to have much impact. What I do think it will happen was, whether you're for Trump or against Trump, or for Biden or against Biden, it's going to galvanize probably your thoughts already. If you're one of those people that I just don't know if I like Trump, well, here's the thing. Trump is so polarizing that I don't think there is anyone really undecided about him. I think you either like him or you dislike him. And I don't think you like him or dislike him as a president. I think that even, I don't know how to say that. I would say even the Democrats would have to, but I don't think they would. But I think even the Democrats would have to admit that whether or not they agree with all the stuff that he has done a lot that he said he was going to do 4 years ago. If we just keep him off Twitter, we keep him off of social media, we can keep him off this other stuff. I think that Trump has a good chance of being a pretty good president if he gets reelected over an 8-year period. But I don't think the debates themselves are going to change many people's minds. I think if anything, it's going to galvanize their thoughts and all that. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do agree with the statement that was made. The debate itself isn't going to be something that I think is worth watching. What's going to be worth watching is the talking heads and the spin meisters after the debate's over on how each side did. So it is what it is. Let's see here. JS out there says that they have attacked Trump, his family and friends for 4 years. Hell, they impeached him for nothing when Biden was guilty. Trump is going to destroy him. You know, and I think that, I don't know if it was a call that I had with Clover. I think I've probably said it several times before publicly that, especially 6 months ago, I said that I thought Trump would win by 10 easily by 10, maybe even more. And now I'm not so sure because of all of that. But here's the problem is I think that if the voters turn out this year, it's going to be close. It could be like Gore Bush close, where there's going to, and I think it's still going to happen. I think no matter what the outcome is, there's going to be at least 10 states that are going to sue and go to the attorney general and all of that. But I think it could be close if they all turn out. But there's a part of me that also thinks that this might have less than 100 million voters, because I really don't think that people are going to do the absentee voting thing. I don't think they're going to get out and vote. I think that people are just going to not vote this year. And I think that if that happens, I think that Trump could win by a big number. What do you guys think? As of right now, I'll start with Clover and go backwards through the room. As of right now, what are your thoughts on who wins, and is it big or is it close?
Right now, I think it's Trump, and I think it is within the margins of the last election.
So within that 3% either way, 3 to 5%.
I think so. I don't think you're going to see that much of a shift, honestly.
Well, let me ask you this: is a lot of the votes, and I've heard this a lot. I'm sure everyone else in this room has, and this is open for anyone, but. A lot of people said that 4 years ago, their votes weren't necessarily for Donald Trump. They were against Hillary. If that trend continues, yeah. But do you think that there are people that are the moderate, leaning more left that would go with Biden because it's not Hillary? Or what do you think?
I think Biden's health issues have people worried. I think this Supreme Court nomination that's also a big reason that people said they voted for Trump in last cycle. That's in play again. It's not still in play, but it's in play again. And I think Kamala Harris does no good. I think she is. I think I've talked to so many people that are Democrat, that or even libertarian, or certainly not pro-Trumpers. And that's a no deal for them. I mean, she was
the Harris is actually, yeah. So you think the Harris thing might be worse for Biden than anything else?
I think she brings a certain Hillary-esque cloud to the ticket. I don't know how else to put it.
I think you're right. Anybody else have anything on that particular statement?
I don't disagree with him.
I mean, why would you, in the debate, she basically called him a racist.
Yeah, and that's the thing
and then they're on the same ticket. People remember that.
Yeah, that is. I think you and I were talking on the phone when it was first announced that Harris was going to be his running mate. And we were talking on the phone. I was like, if you remember 6 months ago in the primary debates, they hated each other. Yeah. So this was put together by the DNC. It is weird to me. They literally hated each other 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's a sign of desperation, I think.
And we're not talking about little disagreements, right? Yeah. We're not talking about lying Ted or that type of tip. We're talking about calling somebody, being a minority and calling somebody a stone cold racist.
That's right.
How do you turn that around on a dime? It makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Well, to me, there's a part of me, and I'm just speculating. This is just my own opinion, but I think that it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility if the reason why she decided to go is I think maybe even if he does win, I think that people realize that Biden probably won't make it to 4 years. Let's just be real. And she's thinking, well, I'll be but politically though, the Harris decision politically, I think was a very smart move for the DNC, because what are the two things from day one in 2016 or 2015 when Trump threw his name in the hat? They call him racist, and they said that he hates women. What's better than putting a black woman on the ticket against Trump? Politically, it was a good move. What's that?
She's not black.
Yeah, technically she's not.
Technically, she's not.
Technically, it's like she's not. I mean, you don't have to say, well, technically. I mean, flat out, she's not. There's no African ancestry. Her family is from India.
Okay, well, I thought that there was like a 25 or something like that. I thought there was ancestry there. So,
okay, let me clarify.
It's a non-white woman.
Her mother and father were not. Put it that way.
Okay, Rick White says he picked a 1/4 black Indian. Okay, so maybe there is some there, but by and large, she is not African American. I think they were trying to slide someone in to pull on the African American vote because her skin is darker. Mm-hmm. And to me, oh man, I just noticed you got crayons back there. Sorry, I get distracted. But to me, that was like pure. Her being picked was so transparently pure desperation on every level. Had to pick a woman because they know Sleepy Creepy Joe has no chance whatsoever on his own. Yeah, the people who voted for him, by and large, are voting because they hate Trump. So they needed to try to pull a couple extra voters in. We'll see.
But it was a horrible. I mean, we all know the Clinton anti-crime stuff, right? And how minorities went to jail in droves. And Harris is a huge part of that. She sent minorities that she's supposed to be nominated to represent, and she's responsible for sending so many to jail for just stupid charges.
Yep.
Right. Young Forever Media out there says hi from Arizona. What's up? Welcome to the dark side. Hope you enjoy yourself. We're going to do a little pregame, I guess you want to call it, for the debate and all that. But was it who was it? Someone just out there said. Midnight Range TM says not only did she call Biden racist, but she actually believed, and not only did she believe the sexual assault charges, she actually asked for the accusers to come out and she would help them. I mean, so it's we're talking like major issues between these two people, and now they're on a ticket. So yeah, I do think that the Harris thing is going to backfire. Honestly, I don't think that's going to help at all. But I don't know if there's going to be the mass number of people that are voting against Biden Harris. I don't think that there's enough hatred towards Biden or Harris like there was towards Hillary that would sway the votes. Hopefully, maybe those people that just won't vote. I don't know. I don't think so either. But I think the issue is Trump is centrist, right? Trump is a Clinton-esque politician, and I think that being centrist, I think he's going to appeal to a large appeal. He did last time too. We seen it with the states that went red, but I think he's still got appeal with the blue collars. I just do.
Do you really think that there are enough people who have delved into the substance of his policies and analyzed them to come to the idea that he is centrist, as opposed to people who are soundbite driven, which all the big media outlets, the sound bites are incredibly polarizing. So when I heard you say he's centrist, I'm like, well, okay, maybe politically he actually is, but what do most people think?
Well, but the sound bites didn't really hurt him last time. So a lot of people like this to grab him by the whatever. And people laughed about that. Or, oh, like a guy that'll just say that, or whatever.
I agree that I agree with what Clover's saying in that sense. I think that it was one of those that he was so out there and we hadn't heard anyone up there yelling and being a complete smartass to his opponent on stage during debate. I mean, he would basically just kind of disregard anything that Hillary's. I mean, he would make a smartass comment, and I think people did enjoy that. Now, do they enjoy the 3:00 tweets where he's just up eating a hot dog at middle of the night, the White House put out a tweet? I don't know. I mean, I wish he would shut up every now and then on Twitter, but I think there is a part of it, of him not being a politician, that people did kind of, oh, this is different. Whether or not it was good or not is up to debate still, but it was different.
Yeah, and historically speaking, if we look at one-term presidents typically don't really do a whole lot. They're not really in the news. There's really no, the whole bad press is still press, I guess, type thing.
Sure.
And if you look at one-term presidents, they do some screw ups, but they're just not. They're not all over the news, and they haven't been in your face and all of that kind of thing. And I mean, he's still out there, and he's still got popularity and everything else. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't see that. I don't see how that's dwindled.
Yeah, one of the big points out there that not Trump, but the PACs and everyone else that are out there doing ads for the Republican Party and all that. The big one is Biden's son getting rich off of trade deals and all of that, and the coronavirus and everything else. That I'm sure that might come up. I don't know. But it is interesting. I think it's funny that if I remember one of the turning points for me, at least, because I honestly, this is true. I almost decided, what the hell? She just ripped up my shoe like something fierce. I was like debating not to vote in 2016. I really was torn. I really didn't, but I decided not voting was not going to be good. So I went ahead and voted for President Trump. But anyways, one of the deciding factors for me was during one of the debates. I don't know if you guys remember this, and just feel free to jump in, guys. But and maybe you can remember if there was something. We'll go into this, but this transitions into the next question: is was there something in 2016 that happened during the debate that kind of said, that might get people? For me, it was when Hillary accused. I don't really accuse because it was true, but brought up the fact that a lot of Trump's hotels uses illegal aliens for seasonal employees down in Florida. And she thought, well, he has no way of debating this. And geniusly, he comes back and he said, yeah, that's true. I will do what I can to make as much money as I can under the laws. And oh, by the way, the laws are there because your husband put them there. And she had no comeback from there. The laws about the seasonal employees using immigrants was put in place by Bill Clinton in the 90s. And he's like, I'm just going by the laws that are out there. And your husband put them there. And that for me was like, okay, he has done a little bit of homework. We can say what you want to about Donald Trump. He is a lot of things. But one of them is he's a pretty intelligent guy. Let's not take what he says all the time and say that this is a dumb, stupid person. He's a smart guy that is business savvy. He's an arrogant son of a bitch that is willing to say anything. That's a tough person to beat in a debate, is someone who's arrogant, who doesn't care who he offends and what he says, because in his mind, he's right. It's hard to beat someone like that. So it'll be interesting to see. So I'm going to kind of go back and I'm going to start with Snob on this one. And Snob, was there anything that you remembered in 2016? Going back about the debates meaning anything, but was there anything in any of the debates in 2016 that you said, oh, snap, that was a good one?
The lock her up. Or she should be, or no, you'd be in jail or whatever it was.
And he said it 1,000 times.
I don't remember the exact term. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he said it 1,000 times, you know, and
he just popped that off so quick at that one debate. He's like, well, yeah, if I was that, you'd be in jail or something.
Exactly. And that was an awesome one too. And yeah, that was a great one. But he kept on, whether he said the exact same words every time, that he kept referring, you know, well, maybe you'll get your chance from jail. Maybe you'll, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And he just kept pushing that point that you're a criminal. You should be in jail. I think that resonated, don't you? I think that resonated with a lot of the undecideds, maybe. Gary, was there anything that you can remember in 2016 that said, okay, that was, you know, either way for either person, but was there anything that you remember, or was it just kind of, it was the debates?
It was just kind of a general attitude. When you looked at Donald Trump, he didn't seem like he ever thought that he was on the defensive or that he was ever, he always seemed like he was in control, like he had the answer. And that he was confident. I mean, you could see that. Not that the debates didn't sway me one way or the other, let's be real, but I did like that about him, is he didn't come in like he was any kind of underdog whatsoever. It's like, I'm here, I've got my stuff together. And you didn't see that on the other side. Hillary was taking her jabs. And every time she did, he had an answer.
You know, you're right. And I think a lot of it, and this is sad, we've talked about this, and I made a statement that I do believe that Bill Clinton is the best politician ever. Pure politician. Politics aside, what he believes, but politician, he was probably the best ever. I still believe that if he was eligible right now, he'd probably still win. I think he'd win this year if he was eligible to be president. He's just that guy. He's charismatic. Whether you hate him or not, he's like a likable Uncle Creepy. He's like a likable Trump. I mean, he's all of those things. But I think what happened with Hillary was she was taking cues from what Bill had done in the past. The problem was that she doesn't have the charisma to pull that shit off. Had Bill Clinton said half the stuff that Hillary did to Trump, it's over. But it was Hillary. And very few people liked Hillary when she was the first lady. I tell you what, you want to see some people that hate Hillary Clinton, come to Arkansas. Hillary Clinton is one of the most hated people in the history of Arkansas. And there is a line of mysterious disappearances and deaths in Arkansas from when the Clintons were in the governor's mansion. Just saying. But I think that Hillary thought that she could do all this kind of a recipe. She couldn't pull it off. I think that is definitely something that is true. Budget brings up a great one here. He says, Trump appeals to voters who are tired of conservative politicians who play nice. They want a politician to be a total asshole to the left. And I think that that's probably true. Because one of the knocks, and Jeff Clover, anyone answer this or bring comments to this, but I think historically, at least in the last probably 30 years, ever since 40 years, I guess, since Reagan, Reagan was a nice guy. Everyone liked Ronald Reagan. It was Ronnie. It was, he was an actor and everyone kind of loved Ronnie Reagan. And then you had old man Bush, and Bush was I tell you, old man Bush was probably the most, as far as resumes, was probably easily the most decorated president we have.
He was so boring, though. He
was like grandpa. So I think people kind of dug.
The best thing about Daddy Bush was Dana Carvey on Saturday Night Live.
Dana Carvey was phenomenal.
The skit with Dana Carvey and Little Dan. Oh my God. Wonderful. Masterful.
He was great. He was what did he say? Not gun debt. Not gun debt.
The economy is here. We need to be here, not here.
And little Danny was great too.
Come here, little Dan. Sit on my lap.
So I think that the Republican Party has always kind of been the pushover, at least for a while, and so I think there is some validity to they're tired of the conservative being nice, and it is nice. But remember, Trump's not a conservative guy. Fiscally, he's probably fairly conservative, but at most he's a moderate. And we've talked about this forever. He's a populist, but at most he's a moderate. But he does bring that segment to the Republican Party that they haven't seen in a while. So sure. I mean, I think that his personality is polarizing, but a lot of people like that brash in your face personality, for sure. Let's see here.
Well, if I may throw a monkey wrench into some of this,
I might as well go for it.
So we are 2 days from October in an election year, and what happens in October during elections? October surprises every single.
All sorts of stuff that happens in October before election.
And one thing that I'm sure helps Trump was the second FBI thing with the Clinton emails that happened late October of 2016.
That was late.
So that kind of reminded and reinforced the "can we really trust this chick?" Attitude, especially for those centrist voters anyway. So I mean, who knows in the next month what's liable to come out. The thing is, with as much as they've thrown at Trump over the last 4 years, with all the impeachment hearings, with all the other things that they haven't been able to make anything stick, I don't foresee any October surprises hurting him. Biden might be a different story.
Well, here's the thing about that, and feel free to jump in, guys, but here's the thing about that is it hasn't just been the last 4 years. Trump's been criticized and in the spotlight for 30 years.
Well, that's true.
Not politically, but he's been wrung through everything, through bankruptcy, through owning a USFL lawsuit, to just being a complete douchebag, forever. The Apprentice. People forget the war that was basically going on between he and Obama the first 4 years of Obama's term.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm agreeing with you. There's nothing else to say about him,
especially with those impeachment hearings. Full well they had anybody and everybody connected to the DNC trying to dig up anything and everything they could possibly dig up on him. I just don't see there being a big surprise for him. But look at all the crap. Look at all the gaffes and all the racist remarks and all the other stuff Biden has made over the years. How difficult would it be for video to surface or audio to surface or something like that?
The good news is that clearly wasn't the same Joe Biden that made those, because Joe doesn't even know he's where he is today. And,
clearly.
That's true too.
No doubt about it. Clearly. So the real debate is still happening out in the chat. The real debate about a hot dog being a sandwich is still going on in the chat out there. So this might get cleared up tonight. I don't know. I still don't think it's a sandwich because it's a one-piece bun, but that's just me. It is what it is. Everyone said it looked like you were falling asleep. I think Snob's busy. Snob he's multitasking. He's here, but he's working his ass off doing research for the next video. So he's taking this time to do research for another video. So you guys got to make sure that when the video comes out, you got to go watch it.
It's like, this is like,
it's just arbitrary.
This is like study hall for Snob for some reason. I don't know.
It is. So let me ask you this, and we'll kind of go here and say kind of what Clover was saying, the October surprises and all of that. Is there really anything that hasn't been done? Because here's a problem with 2020 going the way it is. The only thing I think that could be the October surprise, and there have been hints, which could be huge for Trump and also could backfire. I don't know if you guys have been reading some articles that there possibly could be a vaccine announced in October. Politically, that's probably a good thing for Trump. But there have also been stories that said that he would be willing to forego the FDA approval on such before, he just let's go ahead and get it in mass consumption and get it out there. That he might be willing to go against, just forego the FDA approval scenario and get it out there. Could that hurt him, or do you think people are just willing to say, "Hey, there is a possible vaccine out there for COVID. Let's run with it"? What do you think about maybe foregoing the FDA? Start with Jeff on that one.
He can say whatever he wants because there's not enough time for anything to happen before the election. And what's going to happen afterwards is not a damn thing. I spent the first, 12, 13 years of my career in big pharma. And my brother and sister-in-law work at some really big CROs, the clinical research organizations that they're the contact. Sorry, man, it's hard to talk sometimes. Hold on, more caffeine.
I agree.
Okay, so clinical research organization, they do contract clinical trials. The exposure that I've had in the pharma industry to how that process works, there is not a damn way that they can have anything that anyone who can even say the word science can say is remotely safe in that amount of time. In 3 years, that's not enough time. Like if he said at the beginning of the year, we'll have something in 3 years, I'd have been like, the hell you are. If someone got lucky immediately and some lab monkey just happened to stumble on, whoa, this works, it would take 3 years to establish that it was safe and efficacious, and it ain't going to happen.
Nonetheless, even if they come out and say it's safe and all that, now you're still talking 6 months to a year before it's produced enough to get out to everyone. It's not like you say, hey, we've got a vaccine, it'll be at your doctor's next week. No. It's going to take a long time to produce this. So even if there is one announced, it's still going to be next spring at the earliest before it's probably available for mass consumption. I don't know.
But if Gary, one, it's a sham.
Yep. What do you think about, is this a political ploy, or do you think there is a vaccine that's out there, Gary?
I'm guessing it's probably a ploy. I have my doubts about a vaccine.
Well, and we've already seen, apparently this virus has morphed already in the last 9 months, where it's the same thing as a flu vaccine. Every year, it's not the same flu vaccine you get every year. There's different strands of the flu that they're trying to attack, and sometimes there are 2 or 3 vaccines that you have to take to cover all of the different things. So, what are we going to do? That's my whole thing about this COVID thing is I still believe that November 4th is going to be a marquee day for COVID-19. I think it's one way or the other, COVID goes away November 4th.
I don't think it does. I think it only goes away if Trump wins. And in places where Democrats do well and have strength, they are going to continue ramming it down people's throats because that is what they've established gives them an advantage. Their voting base is so terrified. I mean, there are people who are flat out terrified. Like, I think there are people who would like to shoot you if you walk in someplace without a mask on. They feel like it's justified. And they have been so thoroughly terrified, not by the science, because I've been following the data from the beginning, and part of that's my pharma background. Part of it is actually studying a bit of epidemiology in grad school. And part of it is, my real training is in data analysis. So when I've been digging through the data since it started coming out, like right after SHOT Show, the very initial stuff coming out of China, there has never been a clear analytic picture that said this virus is worthy of shutting the damn country down. It is a political inflated BS to try to unseat Trump. And I don't even like Trump, and I believe that's what it is. Because I've never been there to support it.
I would agree with that. I think that the DNC, and I'm not saying that the virus isn't real. It is real. Well, it's not. Right. He didn't make up the virus. But I think that the DNC looked at this a year ago and said, there ain't no way in hell right now we're beating Trump. No matter who we put up there, we're not winning. The only way that we're going to have a chance is if we destroy the economy. And they did. Unfortunately, I don't think that they anticipated the economy bouncing back. Now, is it a soft bubble economy right now? Absolutely. Let's be real. It's a soft bubble, and there is going to be the big R word coming in the next 10 years. There will be a major recession. Let's just be real about that. But it's a soft bubble. But the economy plummeted, and within 60 days was back. So I don't think that the Democrats anticipated the economy bouncing back as quickly as it did. A lot of that had to do with, whether you agree with them or not, the stimulus out there worked because they got people spending money. You just look at the Amazon sales for the last 6 months. It is stupid high how much Amazon has made during the corona.
You say it worked. Okay. For the short-term objective, maybe it worked.
It worked. What he was trying to do is recover the economy.
You talk about a terrible long-term financial decision. It's going to cost, exponentially more to pay that back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We screwed ourselves as a country so bad with that stimulus.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying for the short term of bouncing the economy back, it did exactly what they were trying to get done, was to stimulate the economy. That's why it was a stimulus.
I've got another theory on post-election. I don't know. I tend to believe that it goes away regardless, and I'll tell you why. It's not advantageous for either party to completely tank the holiday shopping season, which is huge for any and every industry out there, and would be a massive, massive hole to try to dig out of. So Trump wins. He doesn't want it because he's not going to want that happening on his watch. If Biden wins, the Democrats are not going to want it because as soon as Biden was to take office in January, there would be a hole left from that would have to be dug out of. And people would be blaming the worse economy because it would get bad because of the holiday season and continually get worse. Obviously, because of that, because the snowball has already moved halfway down the hill at that point. Then he is inheriting, and the Republicans are going to be able to point to him, just like we know that it's a lot of the Democrat-controlled strongholds now that are causing the economy to tank. It's not Trump's fault that the economy is tanking, but yet they're going to saddle Trump with it. The same way that Obama got saddled with the elections, that was stuff that Bush did. The same way it goes back and back and back, right? The outgoing president, he left me with this, I inherited that, whatever. So either way,
trickle down economics from Reagan. It all happens.
A bad 2020 holiday season fiscally is going to be a bad deal for whoever takes office in January.
No, I agree. Travis out there says, I don't know how the Dems can say Trump didn't act soon enough with the virus when they all said he was racist for cutting inbound travel from abroad and didn't want to. Once again, I mean, they try to politicize the virus because they had to. They had to figure out a way to bring Trump down to a place where they thought that they had a chance. I don't think that Trump's in the position he is now because of Corona. What's going to give Trump the biggest problem is the social injustice movement right now. That is where the Corona side of things is in the back mind of everyone right now. What's going to happen is well, how do I put this? Do the minorities get out and vote? If they get out and vote this year, which historically they haven't, but if they do get out and vote this year, it could be interesting. It could be very, very interesting. All right. So that is there was another thing that I wanted to show before we move on and talk about some fun stuff. Otto out there says, what do you think about the buildup of transgender militias and them buying a lot of guns? So I don't care who you are, how you want to classify yourself. I don't care. That to me, I don't get caught up in that. If they are buying guns to protect themselves and their way of life or their ideals, that's what America is. I don't care who they are, whether they're transgender or what. It makes no difference to me. I will say that, and I don't know about you guys, and you guys can answer it because the good thing is we're all from different states. In the state of Arkansas, there are two kind of militias, as far as bigger militias that kind of people know about. Their mail outs and emails and ads going on, different things have definitely stepped up in the last 6 to 8 months. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know, for you guys in your states, have y'all seen any buildup or any advertising for joining militias in your state?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got some good ones and we've got some bad ones. You know what I mean?
There's one good one and one bad one in Arkansas.
Yeah,
We've got a good one that there's the one that doesn't care about overthrowing the government. They just have a place. They want to get a place once a month that they go do and practice patrolling and land navigation and survival stuff. But then on other weekends of the month, they're out there helping in the community, doing cookouts and all that stuff. And then there's the other one out there.
Ones that kind of off to themselves and do covert op stuff, and they're not really aligned with local law enforcement or local first responders. Right. They're kind of out there on the fringe on their own. Yeah, we've got one like that too. And then we've got one that's actually, in times of in times of emergency, right, are done by established by the state or the county, that literally sheriffs will deputize them. I mean, they're pseudo deputies. They can't go out and arrest people or anything like that. But as far as the first responder efforts and stuff,
absolutely,
they come in and assist and help and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of them I've been asked several times in the last few years by this one. It's a good one too. If I wanted to join, and I've almost gone. I think I talked to you about it before, Clover, a year or two ago. But I thought about going down and seeing. But a lot of times when there's like tornadoes or whatever going through, they're going to be the first ones there helping out, bringing food and water, and kind of being that first responder as well. So yeah, the word militia kind of gets thrown around out there a little bit. I think Snob said no. Gary or Jeff, have y'all heard anything about the militias doing some recruiting at all?
Nope. No, which is a shame because we've had a few events in some of the big cities, Greensboro and Durham and Charlotte, where the BLM folks have come out. And I think that would be a natural recruiting ground. Come in after them. They piss so many people off. It's like, okay, I'll join now. But it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I have no problem with the recruiting side. I hear the word militia. And in today's society, it has a bad connotation when you hear that word by a lot of people. So, it's kind of like a biker gang. I've been watching a lot of Sons of Anarchy and the Mayans lately and replaying and all that. And I like how it's a biker club, outlaw club. They say, no, we're just motorcycle enthusiasts. We're just firearms enthusiasts. We're not anything crazy, but no, there's some crazy ones out there. Let's see here. G23 says, Ghost asked Snob if he will do a top 5 favorite states he's been to. I think you've opened up a rabbit hole, my man. Good Lord. Can you imagine the videos that you're going to be asked to do now?
Apparently. I'm going to do my next one's going to be top 5 reasons why Texas is overrated.
That'll get some love.
I'm kidding, really.
It's what it is. Here's the thing. If you're a Texan, you realize that everyone else hates you. I mean, I get that. I mean,
and if you're a Texan, you also think you're better than everyone else. So,
absolutely.
I mean,
there's no doubt about
I know
it.
a lot of Texans. One of them sitting over here. I don't know.
You know,
you mean they're not?
Yeah, I mean, Texans are the best. I mean, that's just
they have more. I guarantee you, Texans have more state pride than any other state in the union.
This is probably true.
There's no way they don't.
No doubt. Let's see here. Mad Sexy. I think, by the way, I want to say Mad Sexy. I think he had a birthday in the last week or so. So happy birthday to Mad. Maybe a week or two ago. But I remember coming across my Facebook that he celebrated a birthday. I think he's 94 years old. He looks great for a 94-year-old. So he looks like Harrison Ford and American Graffiti, but he looks great for 94. He said, what do you think about old gun owners hoarding ammo, sale at high price, and new gun owner not shooting to do ammo shortage? Here's my thing. I don't blame anyone for hoarding ammo. I'm hoarding some right over here, and that's okay. That's my right. That's my decision. If you were able to get ammo and you anticipated another weird thing happening, I don't blame anyone for hoarding. What I will say is this. One thing, the mistake that it's across the board. The one mistake that I think that most gun shops and gun dealers, whether it's online or a local gun shop, has made a mistake, and I'll get you guys' opinion on this as well, is instead of just selling ammo to whoever, I think they should, business-wise, if you have 17 9mm handguns, I think you should have 17 boxes of ammo. And if you buy a 9mm gun, they should give you – mark up the gun $10 if you want, but with every gun purchase, you get a box of ammo. So if you have 17 9mm handguns in stock, then they should keep 17 boxes so that at least when you buy a gun, especially if you're a new gun owner, the worst thing in the world is to go buy your first gun, make that mental decision to say, I'm going to go buy a gun, and then get there and say, oh, here's a gun, but we don't have any ammo, and you probably aren't going to find anywhere. Regardless of what it is, I think it would be a good business practice, that gun shops would do a box of ammo with every purchase. That's just me.
So that's a good practice. And I would take it a step further and even say that if you have 15 9mm and 15 boxes of ammunition, and somebody buys one and they don't want to buy a box of ammunition to go with it, it would be okay to then put that box on the shelf. Here's the problem when you're dealing with dealers and stuff. Dealers go through distributors, and they get what they get when the distributors have it and send it to them. So this month, the distributor may have the nine handguns, but they may not have any ammunition for 3 months, and then they may not have any 9mm when they have the ammunition. So it's not like these dealers are getting all of that stuff in at one time and they can divvy it up like that. That's part of the problem. Is the supply flow is so screwed up right now.
I think in Sports South, I think it's still the biggest distributor. It might not be, but at one time it was by far the biggest distributor. Mm-hmm. And I heard that they came in not too long ago and ordered. I mean, they had an order back in like April or March, and the numbers might be wrong, but I heard like 100 million rounds of ammo, which is in their eyes, it's not a big order. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a huge order for Sports South. Because I'm not sure that's just one caliber. That might be across which is not a huge order. So you can imagine how many rounds people are buying. That stuff's good. Like you said, that stuff's gone. And it's not like you're saying, hey, Sports South, because all the people in this area order from Sports South is I want to order 17 Glock 17s and 15 Glock 19s, and I want a box of ammo to go with each of them. They're not, like you said, they're not able to do that. I just think that it's just, I wish that if the gun shops do have ammo, instead of just saying, here it is.
Right. If they get it there, right. If they get ammunition
for a gun sale, because I'm just afraid that I think a new gun owner that buys this gun and can't shoot it, it's a waste for me. I really kind of am disappointed with that. I think someone just said that the first lady just walked in and very few people clapped. Might be a tough crowd. I mean, do we expect anything different? Honestly, I mean, we don't expect anything different. So let's get off of that issue. What do you guys think about transgenders or anyone else? Do you guys have any idea of what could be a good business practice for ammo shortages? I mean, is there just something We all know that this is a cycle, and maybe 6 months or 8 months from now, it'll be back to normal. Let me ask you this, and I'll start with Gary on this one. When the cycle does come back, do you think that ammo prices will ever be as low as they were a year ago?
Nope.
Do you think they'll be dramatically higher or just a little bit,
They'll come down a little bit, but I don't think they'll come down as low as they were originally. Not unless the market drives them there. It's there's such a glut in the market they have to unload stuff, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah. Snob, Jeff, Clover, you guys have any idea of ammo prices?
If Trump gets reelected by 2022, they'll come back somewhat close to what they were. Maybe $10 for a box of 9 versus 7 or 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think the only way we ever see 9 back for sub $8 a box is if a pro-gun Republican takes office after Trump, and it's just another Trump slump and another slump after that, and it'll force them down, I think. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think there's any way we'll ever see it lower than what it was.
Well, the cycle will end. We always go through these cycles, and the cycle will end. And when it ends, yes, the prices will come back down. And we conflate, well, the prices didn't come down to what they were before as being a product of that they just didn't come back down that low for demand reasons, production reasons, gouging reasons, whatever it might be, rather than the price of ammunition has always gone up.
Yeah, inflation's going to take a hit also.
It's called inflation. Yeah, and with us printing money to send out, like we were talking about earlier, stimulus checks and everything else, guess what that causes, people? Inflation. So it's not a product of the panic or anything. It's like if it's a couple of years before ammo comes back into plentifulness or whatever, that it's going to be a little bit higher just because it's a few years later.
I think it's going to be lower.
You think it's going to be lower? Do you think?
Supply.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, supply and demand. Everyone's ramped up. Everyone is cranking out every damn round they can. The production is up and running. And this is the way supply and demand works. You got this all right, where's the camera? You get your up and down of the curves, and we're spiking in demand with supply being low. That's always followed by an inversion. And when that inversion hits, we're going to cross that inflection point where demand is no longer exceeding supply, and as soon as that happens, the bottom's going to fall out.
Yeah,
and we're going to drop until they ramp back, and then so here's another couple years probably. Look at the secondary market too, because people hoarding, they go to this ammo they're sitting on. As soon as it starts to drop, they're going to be like, "Oh shit, I'm going to lose money on this." Dump, and that is why it tanks. Once you hit that inflection point, it's going to tank.
Yep. Well, 2013, I remember it well. And, I was heavy into 4-H at that point. 22 was the thing. Thank goodness we had grants. We had other things that really kept us going strong, and we didn't have to worry about it. That was a really, really bad panic for 22. Everybody knows this. We've seen $80, $100 bricks. And before this started, people were saying back then, the price will never come back down. It'll never be what it was. And I seen bricks for less than $15. I bought bricks for less than $15 post 2013 panic. So it did come back down.
Yeah. Before we move on to a fun topic, I want to send a shout out to a Fixed Bayonet. She said the fire just crossed county lines. Got to make sure the sprinklers are working. Hey, be safe. I hope everything works out. That stuff's no joke, man. It's tough to fight fire, man. So let me ask you this. Do we want to turn the debate on screen sharing and do that, or do we want to talk SHOT Show?
I think we want to talk SHOT Show.
I vote SHOT Show.
So do I.
Politics.
So I think everyone, so am I. I think that everyone in this room is already registered, been approved, probably already have at least either travel plans or booked the travel and all of that. So everyone in this room is going to be going to SHOT Show in January. I can't wait. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, but especially this year, I've had one hell of a everyone, hello, everyone's had a hell of a year. I need a break. I'm burned out. I'm cranky. I know that I'm not pleasant to be around right now, and I get that. I just need a break, and I can't wait for SHOT. How different is it going to be? Let's just have an open discussion. I mean, Jeff, I'll start with you. What are you expecting from SHOT this year? Are you excited for it, or are you going to think it's going to be a bad one?
So we talked about this. When did we talk about this? On Clover's show yesterday. I was having a discussion with someone who's very highly placed at one of the really big influential brands. The dude's really well connected, and we were just chatting, and SHOT came up, and he's like, "Oh, it ain't happening." And he said he had two theories. And one of them it could, but it won't be anywhere near the same. So one theory is it's going to be canceled. The NSSF and the SANS are playing chicken because whoever pulls the trigger to cancel it gets the smaller insurance payout when it's canceled. So they're both.
You think it is going to get canceled, though?
What's that? You
think it will get canceled eventually?
So this was his theory, that it is going to be canceled, and they're playing chicken on who's going to pull the trigger to cancel it. The other one, the other option too, he said, was they're going to limit it to 30% of the normal attendance. They're going to have a no touching rule, can't pick anything up, and booths will be behind glass. So I look at either of those options and I'm like, damn.
Plus face masks, of course.
Yeah. Well, that's already been announced that there will be. That was an NSF release a while ago that they're requiring face masks at all times inside the building, or face coverings, I should say.
I don't even know if I want to go. And I know there are lots of people who believe in the mask, but I mean, I'm sure there are other people on this panel who have had chemical warfare training. And one of the first jobs I had when I got out of the Air Force is I worked with a company that did clean rooms right before I got into pharma. Clean rooms, the kind of outfits you have to wear to get in there are just the opposite of the chemical warfare. So I did a project, one of the last projects I did for my squadron before I got out. The Air Force was redoing all of the chemical warfare suits. And so I had to learn a lot about that. And it... yeah, just like window shopping. Yeah. What they taught us is what it takes to be effective compared to what they're telling us now can be effective against this virus. It's like, do people actually believe this? I mean, I am completely in disbelief that people believe that these silly little masks actually do much of anything at all, period. Like in the most ideal situation, maybe they do a little something, but no one wears them right. I mean, you just throw all the variables in. I mean, they're not covering their eyeballs up. They have this huge exposed membrane on the front of their face that catches everything. And the virus will go right through the membrane layer of the eyeball. It's all so absurd that I'm insulted by the idea that they would require me to wear one of those stupid fucking masks. And I'm allowed to say that, right?
Absolutely.
Good.
How do you feel about masks, Jeff?
I don't think he's clear on his position.
Not support them.
I don't think he's wishy-washy, guys. He's a flip-flopper. He just doesn't know where he stands on masks. Gary, this will be your second year going. Last year was an interesting year. It turned out being, I think, a really good SHOT Show. It started out kind of slow and weird. But what are you expecting this year to be? Are you expecting positive or negative things?
Well, gosh, a lot depends on what they do, with this virus stuff between now and then. It's definitely going to be different interaction. I don't even know how range day would even work. I mean, you're going to have all these different people touching these guns, going to wipe them down with sanitary rags. And I've heard,
they might require some
one-way aisles, and all that stuff. I can just see the crowds in SHOT Show go where they want to go.
This is true.
In whatever direction they want to go.
Yep.
And they stand there and they gather together. There'll be 50 people all up wanting to see this one display, and there's not going to be any 6 feet of separation between. It's just not going to happen. It's impossible.
Breaking news. I just heard that RSR carts spread coronavirus.
That's a true story.
That is a true story.
I heard that as well.
I believe that might have been what brought Corona to America.
It may be. They should probably ban them.
Yeah, I read that was from a very reputable news source, by the way. Yeah, it's confirmed.
Jeff, I've already placed bets with my bookie. I'm betting the over-under. The over-under is 2. I'm betting the over.
Because you know what's happening. Yep. So seriously, though, I think that with mask and any restrictions on the density of population at any place within the building, anything they do, like you can't touch stuff, booths behind glass, anything like that, it is going to drive people out of the Sands. And Battlefield Vegas will make a fucking killing at their outdoor facility because people will book it for meetings. And every place where people can go without a mask is going to be overrun with people who are like, I'm not going to that damn building. I'm going to go where these other people are, where I can actually be around people. So I think it's going to spread SHOT Show all over Vegas and the surrounding area, and it will never be the same again. NSSF will lose control of SHOT Show.
You know, there's a part of me that tends to agree with part of that statement about I don't think SHOT Show will be the same ever again for multiple reasons. But I think there is still a way to make SHOT Show productive and a success, especially from our side, is if there are going to be a lot less people there, then whether or not we get to actually touch a lot of stuff inside, you know, what are you going to get from that anyways? Maybe the ergonomics, maybe the weight of it. I mean, you're not getting a whole lot for a review from just holding an empty gun at SHOT Show. You're going to get that maybe at range day or other places. Maybe you can go out. And I think that you're right, Jeff. Maybe there are multiple range days set up this next year that say, hey, you know what? We're going to have a few people at our booth, Smith & Wesson, saying we're going to have a few people, but you know what? On Wednesday at noon, we're going to be out at you know, Battlefield Vegas, and we're going to be shooting some stuff. But I also think that with less people is a good opportunity for people to get better quality interviews. Better audio could be happening because there's not going to be 80,000 people. There might be 30,000 people. There's not going to be people walking back and forth. You better get some different B-rolls. But most importantly, I think that it's going to have an opportunity to have better conversations with the people at the booths, whether they're the sales managers, whether they're the marketing people, for people like us trying to build relationships, not just get B-roll or footage of XYZ gun. It's being able to have discussions. I think that will help to where we will be able to have more conversations instead of, hey, can you have 2 minutes of your time? That could turn into a 5 to 10 minute discussion because there's not as many people there. So I think on the business side, the relationship side, I think that two things that's going to help. But go with me on this with the face mask and all of that. Clover and I talked about it a lot last year, but I think that smoking this year will be so much more important because people are going to go outside to take the mask off. There's going to be people taking more smoke breaks this year. There'll be people outside smoking to get the mask off and to get away from the bullshit that's going on inside. That's where a lot of stuff's going to go down is outside.
Bingo.
What's that?
I said bingo.
B-I-N-G-O.
Outdoor venues.
Outdoor venues, man. I think you hit the nail on the button on the head. I think that the outdoor venues are going to succeed. And I think that you're right. I think that SHOT Show will be different from now on. Not in a way that NSSF going to lose control. I think that they're going to realize that we need to utilize, instead of having one range day, maybe having range days every day, but smaller, only having like 10 people at a time every day of range day or every day of SHOT Show. I don't know. It could be interesting. Snob, what are you changing with your anticipation of what could be happening? Is your game plan going to be any different this year for SHOT than it was last year?
At this point, I don't know what's happening. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to plan for. I mean, truthfully, if it's like Jeff's, what do you call it? confidential informant there tells us, and it's behind glass. If that happened, that'd be a disaster.
Yeah.
So to try to do any kind of good photos, video, anything like that.
And 30% is how many of us are actually going to make it.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah. The whole glass thing, that would be bad. I would agree with that.
I think they might as well not have it if they're going to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If they cut it to 30%, then it becomes the deal makers and everyone else stay the hell home, and it would cut a lot of the fluff. And I think the fluff is there because NSSF and Vegas and the Sands make a ton of money on bringing more people in. And that's why so many people are there. But I mean, let's be honest, the business that needs to happen in the industry probably the bulk of it could be done with 10 or 12% of the people who go to SHOT Show.
Sure.
And it wouldn't be at a local gun shop level, but
the distributor level for sure.
Yeah. Well, distributor, the direct sales from brands.
Whatever. Yeah.
One person to talk about, here's our new line of products, or two or whatever, instead of 20 for a brand, they could cut the number of people there dramatically and still get, 20% of the people could do 80% of the business, I think. But if they do restrict attendance, what's going to happen to media? I mean, do you guys have a prediction? Do the D-listers get cut?
We're not a big enough portion of it.
Yeah, 2,500. That's a nothing compared to the 80,000 people that are there. So I think 2,500 media.
I think the industry's still going to want the media there, though.
No doubt about it.
Even us rinky-dink nobodies.
I agree with that 100%.
For me, anyways. I'm not speaking for anybody else.
No, we're all rinky-dink. I agree with that. I think that the industry will want us, but I'll also say that the media they say 2,500 media passes. I'm not so sure that there's ever 2,500 passes. I mean, I don't ever know if they ever reach that quota of 2,500. I don't know. And if they do, it's not, they're not going to 5,000. They don't have a 2,500 person wait list. I don't think so. I don't think the media numbers. I think what's going to happen is Joe Bob at local gun shop bringing 16 other of his buddies. They don't even work at the gun shop. That's where it's going to say, hey, each gun shop or whatever, you're allowed to bring 2 other employees or 3 other employees or 5 total, you and 4 people instead of 10. Does Glock need 27 people coming? Well, they might, because they do shifts and all that. But I think that's where you're going to start seeing, hey, Glock, we only want you to bring 15 people. Hey, XYZ gun shop, I want you to bring in 5 instead of 12 this year. I think that's where you're going to start seeing it. Clover, what do you think about this year's SHOT Show and what we discussed so far?
I mean, assuming that it happens in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I'm there.
Absolutely. I am too.
Because I think that even if it's neutered in a way, I'm going to have probably the same approach that I had last year, which was more the networking relationship. And I think that if especially if they're cutting down the eyeballs that are going to be there, it's going to be even more important to have media to be able to branch out online and get more eyeballs onto stuff that way, rather than in person. I think it's going to be a little more important. And if things are behind glass, I see potentially where the people in the booth could handle those things. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. And so you could still stand there as long as you didn't touch it. You could still stand there and do a interview, and they could manipulate it, and they could talk about components, which a lot of us have done anyway with booth reviews and things like that. I don't know. Going back to the media and talking about the numbers of media, I don't think it's going to affect us if they start trying to trim back. And the reason I don't think it is because, you hear these numbers of, 2,500, maybe 3,000 media. But then if you show up for range day, I mean, Antares is sadly pretty much a ghost town, and it gained popularity big time last year, right? Industry day at the range. If you go before noon, which is when media is supposed to be there, there's not thousands of people there. And then if you add the vendors, right? The manufacturers and stuff anyway.
It's so spread out.
If you spend any time in the media room,
Yeah.
Right. Now, that being said, there's a lot of media people, I'm sure, that don't go to range day, that don't set foot in the media room. I'm sure there are some. But yeah, just walking around and seeing people that have media badges, and you and I, and of course Jeff and Gizzard and Snob and other folks out there, we know a lot of other people in the media sphere. So just walking around, you just don't see that many there either. So I don't think it's going to affect us at all from that perspective. Getting cut, left out.
Before Snobby come in, I just want to bring up a couple of things before I forget. I'm not very smart, but you're muted, so you're. I don't even know what the hell you just said.
I said I'm going to forget too, so it's okay.
Go ahead, then. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just kidding. I know what I'm going to say.
First thing I want to say is I think what's going to happen. I think we talked about this either offline. I don't know where we talked about it. I said it before. I think you're going to find the people, if they have SHOT Show. I think you're going to find the media that goes are the media that want to be there. The ones that just want to have the vacation or there for the parties or there for what, just to be seen at SHOT Show. I don't think that they would go. So I think that the media that does go this year, if they have it, are going to be the ones that actually want to actually be there. They want to do something. They have a goal instead of just taking a week's vacation. Regardless of what that goal is, they're going to have something, the reason to be there. Mm-hmm. The second thing I forgot it. God dang it. Go ahead, Snub.
You almost just took my first thing. I was going to ask you all, what do you think? I mean, with the last several years, you've seen less and less channels showing up at SHOT Show, or less and less media in general. I don't know that much about print media, who's showing up, who's not. But as far as online YouTube media, sure, you've seen less and less over the years. I mean, I've seen tons of channels say they're not going for the last 5 years, more and more each year. So what's going to be this year? There's going to be a ton that don't show up this year, I'm sure, just like what you were just saying. Because if they're not there, they've got, I mean, face it, if they've got a, 2 or 3 to million subscribers, 200,000 or 300,000 to 1 million subscribers, they don't need the contacts.
Correct.
They've got them already.
Sure.
So why are they going other than just to network or hang out,
The hangout, a lot of times the deals, because those people actually have deals with industry companies. That's where those deals are made. That's also where those deals were made a year ago and say, hey, part of the deal is that you're going to be at my booth for an hour on Tuesday at SHOT Show, or for 2 hours on Wednesday. A lot of these people will go and spend an hour a day at different booths, and they get their trip paid for. They're put up at the on the strip casinos for $500 a night rooms. That's part of their deal. So that's where they almost legally or contractually have to go. They bolt out as soon as those obligations are done with. But I think what's going to happen is once again, I think that it's going to be rewarding for the media people that do go. I think that the companies that do show up, it's still going to cost them a lot of money to do SHOT Show, and they're going to not want to see no one's coming by their booth. So even though there might not be as many media people there, the ones that are there, I think that those industries and those companies are going to value them more than just so-and-so with 500 subscribers. It's a damn camera, and we don't see many of them right now. So you're going to value any cameras that are there. Because remember, and I'm not teaching this to you guys, and this is just in general, these companies have cut their marketing and advertising dollars by probably 75% because they rely now, they utilize YouTubers and people that do reviews. They utilize that as free media for them. So they're not having to go and do commercials or buy print ads in magazines as much. So they are going to rely on us to be there. So if you are there, I think you'll be valued more than any other year this year by the companies themselves. Now, I remember what I was going to say about what Clover was saying is this is something that I wish they would do. And I think some of them have before, but I think that you might have something really cool, an opportunity this year. Let's say that the booths are enclosed in glass or whatever. You can go get your B-roll, or what could happen is that they might provide everyone with media on a flash stick and say, hey, I know, Jeff, I know, but they might do that regardless. And you can get your B-roll and all that. But what they could do is, if they were smart, they would have a designated area inside their booth with a backdrop with their logo in an interview space where you might not be around the guns, but everyone that's going to get an interview at FN, they're going to have a wall and with the FN logo kind of backsplash, like you see NBA coaches and players, their post-game interviews are behind a wall. It's got their sponsors and all that. But there's an interview space where the room is enclosed by glass, but maybe the vendors now have a section of their booth that is designated now for interviews. Because you can't walk through. Maybe they enclose a room where you could go into a room and do an interview and actually get decent audio. It'll be interesting if they do something like that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Some brands that have done that already. I know SIG's been doing that for years.
I'm saying maybe this is everyone might be doing that.
Complex, you know.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity. If it's going to be a different SHOT Show, then let's utilize this. If the guns have to be enclosed in a case, in glass or whatever, let's think outside, the box here and say we can utilize half of our space of our booth, especially on the main floor where some of these are massive lots they have. Half of it for this, and then half of it for 2 or 3. We're going to have our 2 or 3 guys that are going to do our spiels for us, and they're going to have a podium necessarily, and it's going to suck, but it might be better audio. At least.
Guy with the Ginsu knives cutting cans.
What
I'm just saying it could be something to think about.
Well, what if the NSSF, like they do in the media room, they have the little cubicle set up? What if they had a section of that several places out on the floor?
They do.
They do.
Do they really?
Yeah, on the outer walls. Yeah. But they're always full. I've
never even noticed them.
Yeah. I actually got one last year with FN. I had it for 15 minutes. And that's the only time I ever could get one. And they actually set that room up. I didn't have a chance because they're all full. I don't know if they have to do that or what, but they're all full. But there's also, here's the thing that I was kind of, Pincus told me this last year, and it's a brilliant idea. So around the corner from the media room, there's that hallway that goes down, and there's all these meeting rooms back there. Mm-hmm. Those meeting rooms are never utilized.
Nope.
He said, do you think they care? No one's using them. Go take someone, say, hey, do you mind coming out here or meeting over here, and just take them to a meeting room down the hallway. It's a huge room, but there's no one in there, and get some good audio. At least if you're doing an interview or you're recording a podcast, they're not going to kick you at a SHOT Show. No one's using the rooms. You might as well. So I thought that was a hell of an idea. I never even thought about that. So
they literally have those interview rooms set up around, but many of them are cubicles that aren't a full room. Like the partition doesn't go to the ceiling. Still crazy loud in there. And I think even if it was a third or less of the people, the acoustics of the facility just are such that I think that we're going to have the same challenges for audio, even with less people, same crap.
I don't except for interviews, and I only did 2 interviews last year. I did a lot of my just B-roll, so I didn't care about the audio. I was getting B-roll, and I was going to overdub it at home with the audio. Now, Rob out there says it's a hell of a trip if you can't get your hands on a gun. Maybe. And I understand the sentiment. I'm not disagreeing with you, Rob, but you can get your hands on a gun probably at range day. They're still going to have range day. We've already signed up for range day. So they might have to wear surgical glove. Who knows? But you're going to get your hands on them. But more importantly, once again, you have to get creative yourself. Is if you can't get your hands on at SHOT Show, there are still things that we can do that could be very, very productive for our channel, for our business, for the industry as a whole. A lot of reasons. A lot of us go to SHOT Show not necessarily to hold the guns and to do all the reviews anymore. It's more setting up. What's that?
Never mind. No, go ahead.
It's setting up the relationship. It's setting up working together in the future. It's setting up doing this, that, and the other to where you can still get a lot of work done without necessarily holding the guns. I think it would be interesting to see is, do they have all the parties? Who knows about the parties? Because there's going to be restaurant restrictions, this, that, and the other. Who knows? But some of the companies that I did talk to recently said that they're looking forward to SHOT because they didn't have NRAM this year. There were other USCCA didn't have it. There were other events throughout the industry that didn't happen since January that some of these guys were expecting to unveil products at NRAM or at USCCA and then didn't get that chance. So SHOT Show this year is going to be a big one for them to unveil certain things. So I know that there are companies that probably don't want to go, and that's fine. But I know that there are companies that I've personally talked to that are really excited about SHOT Show because they have that opportunity to get back in front of people again.
Well, Harrisburg's the last show, wasn't it? The one in Harrisburg. Everything else got canceled, didn't it?
A week or two after SHOT. Yeah, because USCCA was in March and it got canceled. And then obviously NRAM got canceled. And I mean, those are the only other really big, I mean, what is it? I can't remember what it's called, but the European SHOT Show was canceled.
Yeah.
The Great American, that 2 weeks that was it. And that was end of January, early February. So there's a lot of companies out there that are looking to get back into the flow of things.
So you guys went to the Invictus party 2 years ago, right? Where they had the house. I bet a ton of brands are out there booking the biggest Airbnb they can find so cool. They can control the space. And it'll be if you want to come in, you sign this waiver.
Yeah, absolutely. On a private residence or a private where? Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That will be a mess too. Less people on the bus and even longer lines. They do have buses going out to range day. They do offer that service for people coming from the strip or wherever. They do have buses. But I would say that 90% of the people that go are in their private vehicles. There's maybe 3 or 4 busfuls and there's 1,000 cars out there. You know what I'm saying?
And most of the bus is the dealers and the people in the afternoon. It's not a ton of media folks that take the bus.
Because media people don't want to leave their camera or have to carry their cameras and all that crap on the bus.
Yeah, for sure. That would suck, by the way. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, if they have it, I'm there. If for no other reason, just because I haven't had the gun shows, I haven't had Wanamaker, I didn't have NRAM. I'm just as antsy to get in front of see my buddies and the industry friends.
Well, and
I'm just antsy to see them as I am get my hands on products.
And let's be honest, we're expected to be there for our fans, so we can't let them down.
Wow, that was
fans.
Nice.
My ceiling fan up here or my little desk fan over here?
That was a joke.
Which fans expected me?
That was a joke.
Yeah. Hey there. She's interested in those crayons still. She smells those crayons. She's not real sure she wants them or not.
Well, she's your dog.
That's what I said. She saw Daddy eating crayons and said, I want some of those. I don't know what they are, but they smell good.
No, in all seriousness, and I said it, but it was at the end of your show last night. You guys were talking about what if they did rain or did SHOT in another city, blah, blah, blah. What if they switched it? Why couldn't they switch it to an outside one in Vegas? It's not that bad in January outside. They could put up portable fences around it and hire security.
There's a lot of desert out there.
I don't understand why they couldn't.
Like a tent city?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many range days have you been to, Snub?
One. I understand it's windy. I understand what Vegas can be.
But it who knows what it's going to be. And from day
3 years ago, 38 degrees and blowing 40 miles an hour. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Was it year before last? It was so horrible.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh my God! I mean, you got windburn. It was so horrible.
No, but I understand, and I think what is it? The concrete guys that are typically there the same in the main convention center the same week we're there. Half of that parking lot is tent city because they don't have enough room in the main. So the tent city has been done before in Vegas. I see what you're saying, and I think that once again, business.
They got big parking garages. We can just have SHOT in the parking garage. Then it's outdoors, and they can't argue because protesters.
How about
people would know G's favorite his secret parking space? We can't do,
dude. You're not allowed to acknowledge that. Oh my goodness, you're getting left again.
What the hell's the difference whether I say it or not? I've been left 3 times last year, so.
So I got bad news for you, though. Our crew is going to be big. Like me and TJ, we're not little guys. Wait till you see Jeremy. Jeremy's huge.
Which one is Jeremy?
You hadn't met Jeremy.
Naked, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, him and his wife do the naked camping content.
Oh, okay. The Jeep people.
Yeah. They're both.
Yeah. You look like a big dude, yeah.
They're both high-end bodybuilders, and they're big. So our car is not going to have room for you, is what I'm saying. And Mitch, Mitch is a short guy, but I think he's not as felt as he was when I knew him back in college. So I think our car is going to not have room for you.
Fuck, I'm done. So Honcho's out there. He said he's watching the live debate on YouTube, and he put in the chat room, who else going to SHOT Show?
Nice.
I would love to hear from that. I love that. That's awesome. Let me know, Honcho, what the comments are.
Definitely.
No, I don't disagree with that. I think that the business models are changing every day. In America, they're able to work from home and still be productive now. So if there's ever going to be a time to maybe take some chances and some risks to say, let's try something different.
We're live streaming the whole SHOT Show floor this year.
Or move it out to March and do it. Then you'd have guaranteed better weather.
You could do that.
So what do you think about some of the new technologies out there, like having UV lights around the guns? You handle a gun, you put it back under a UV light, so it is sanitized as long as it sits there for a minute.
I've got a better idea, Jeff. How about we just pretend none of this is going on and have SHOT Show just like we have every other year before?
So
we'll all probably come home and be just fine.
We're gonna get a SHOT Show anyway. What's the difference?
Or we'll all come home and be just as sick, is what you mean.
Yeah, right? It's gonna be nothing different.
You're gonna get the crud regardless.
I'm pretty sure I brought it home last year.
So that's what blew me away when my what do we call it? The secret source, whatever you called him, when he
confidential informant.
Yeah, when he said that that it's either going to be canceled or scaled back dramatically, I was like, wait a second, this is SHOT Show. These are the people who say virus, whatever, and no one cares. And I think it really comes down to insurance,
local politics,
national politics. I think.
I think what I'm saying is the only 2 people that could shut it down would be the mayor of Las Vegas or the governor of Nevada. Those are the only 2 people that could shut it down.
County commissioners, maybe, but yeah.
The insurance people, if they say, you know what, if anyone gets sick and they sue, there's too much liability, can't do it, and then they are done.
What do you think about a waiver?
Sign a waiver. I'll sign a waiver right now. Absolutely.
You think there'll be odds on having a waiver?
I think there will be a waiver.
Oh, yeah.
They've already said that there will be a waiver as part of it. I think that is.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think when we registered, we had to click on something to acknowledge the COVID stuff, didn't we?
You read that? You read that stuff? I was just trying to get registered. I was technically driving down the highway trying to get registered.
No, I didn't read it, but it was a COVID thing, and you had to agree to those terms. That's fine. I'll click whatever. Because here's the thing: I'm not convinced that the shit that Gary and Clover had this year wasn't COVID.
I promise you.
That's what I said mine was, and I got mine like literally a week after I got home. So I rode home with Gary, and he was sick, and then I get home, and a week later I get sick.
Yep. I barely made it through Friday. Jeff will tell you that. I barely made it through Friday.
Yeah.
I think that's about how Gary was too.
And then you gave it to me and TJ when we were talking to you in the parking lot.
Well, it's weird. I guess my wife, with all the rapid COVID in the prison system and stuff, she still hasn't got it. I guess my wife has a natural immunity to it. That's all I can figure.
Yeah.
I've had several people that I've been around that have had it and all that. I'll put it this way. I haven't been sick since 1994. I know that sounds crazy. I've had the sinuses or a cold. I have never had a flu shot. I have never had anything. We were going somewhere, and Jeff knows what I'm talking about. We were going somewhere in early 1995, And before you go, you have to go down this line and get shots. And seriously, they're air guns. And they just walk around. There's like 25 on the right arm and left arm. Just tunk, 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 tunk. I don't know what they gave us.
Yep.
If you
die, you'll be good for the rest of your life.
I literally haven't been sick since. So if I did have it, I didn't have any symptoms of it. I would be interested to know if I went and got what do they call those? The test to see if you have the
antibodies.
Antibodies. I would be interested to know if all 5 of us could do that. Did we have it, whether we had symptoms or not? Do we have the antibodies? Because I think we probably do. I think that the guys that got sick got corona. I think people like me that didn't get sick, we might have gotten it, didn't have the symptoms, but the SHOT Show crud this year wasn't the SHOT Show crud. I think it was COVID because it was there. It was already here by then. I don't know.
Well, how many of those optics manufacturers are based in the Wuhan district of China? I mean, honestly.
Exactly. No doubt.
And Sarge came back, got sick, and just I think it was about a month ago, Gary can probably correct me, but he was in a class, and come to find out the guy who was sitting right next to him the whole time during the class tested positive for COVID during the class. So he had been sitting next to him for like a week before. And he didn't, and Sarge didn't get it.
There you go. It's, for me, it's worth the risk for me. It is. For me personally, and I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm not speaking for the industry. I'm not speaking for anyone else. For me, it's worth the risk to have shot. And if they're going to have it, I'll be there. I'll sign whatever waiver. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. I look forward to, I know we start registering, this year a little bit prior to October 1st, obviously, but October 1st comes around, we're in SHOT Show mode. Yeah, I was in SHOT Show mode in July. I booked my airline ticket in July this year because I got it for under $200. So, it was just one of those things where, for some of us, it's everything. It's the industry. It's getting the relationship. It's handling the products. It's seeing my friends that I might only see once a year. And that's the way it is. Huh?
It's the little stripper cards you get when you walk down the sidewalk. You think they're still going to have those this year?
Well, they're going to have to hand sanitizer for you to put on your hand before you take it.
Yeah, the clubs might be behind glass this year. No touchy-feely. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they have it. I hope they have the balls to continue the stand. And I know what you're saying, Jeff, and your CI probably might be right that they're just waiting for someone else to pull the first trigger and get screwed on the insurance, and the second one gets whatever. But I just hope they have the balls to stick with it and say the industry in the community needs SHOT Show this year. With everything that's gone on this year, I think that the NSSF needs to realize that SHOT Show. Okay, hold on a second. Hey, Risa, I need for you to get her at this point. That thing's driving me absolutely bonkers. But I think that SHOT Show needs to happen this year. I think that there are a lot of us that need it. I'm sorry, but she's playing with this toy, and I thought it was gonna be okay, but it's driving me absolutely crazy at this point.
I thought it was Jeff. I didn't realize it was you.
No, it's my doll's got this toy that just goes nuts, and she was laying right here playing with it. And at first it was fine, but it just drove me nuts after a while.
I thought maybe Jeff was playing Farmville on a different screen or something,
That or Candy Crush or something. Yeah. But no, I don't know. I need shot. I personally need a fucking vacation. I haven't had a day off. Literally haven't had a day off since March. So I need a break. I'm going nuts. But I would go anywhere at this point. I can't. We're literally, today's a Tuesday, and Tuesday is one of our slowest days typically. It was as busy as Saturday was. It was crazy. It's just, we're busy. Every day's a weekend around here.
As of right now, it looks like Wanamaker may happen.
Really interesting.
I talked to Carrie yesterday. Okay.
Well, I know that was it Snob. Was it last night?
You have more faith in that Rhino Mare than I do.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to think she knows
something else.
You got to think that they're in communication with somebody, right?
You would think.
We're a month out, roughly 6 weeks.
6
5
weeks.
weeks.
Now, Snob, I remember you saying, now this is maybe a couple months ago, but there was another convention or show inside that building. Obviously, it wasn't the size.
Yeah, they had the Home and Garden show, but that don't draw tents.
They are having stuff there. So even if Wanamaker's at a smaller scale, it's something, I don't know. I hope they have it. I mean, that'd be a great 2 days to go. But yeah, for me, like I said, it's not just the industry stuff. It's a lot of it is just seeing my buddies that I get to see once a year and all that. So I really do hope that SHOT happens, even if it's different. A different scaled back or watered down SHOT show is still better than not having anything. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. Coming up on 2 hours, obviously the debate's going pretty hard right now. Let's see here.
I jumped over there for a minute and dropped repeal the NFA, repeal the GCA, repeal FOPA several times in the chat just because.
We can do show or moves with masks, not the end of the world. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, do I hate masks? Yes. If the only way that I'm going to be able to go to SHOT Show is to wear a mask,
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'll wear my stupid neck gaiter. I ain't happy about it, but I'll wear it.
I'm going to have
continue that thought. Go ahead and talk for a second. Be right back.
I'm going to get a custom one made.
Do we want to take bets? If they're SHOT, how many, instead of the little badge holders, how many of them will be branded neck gaiters or masks of some sort?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I've already talked to my wife about maybe ordering a custom bandana and then getting her to make something out of it.
All right. So speaking of neck gaiters, I knew that we were probably going to be having to wear a mask or something.
Oh, here he goes. He already got one made.
I did. So if you're wearing a mask and all that around SHOT Show, people aren't going to be able to see your eyes and all that. They're not going to be able to recognize you, maybe the badge. So I did. I spent $10, got my logo put on a gaiter. So when I wear it, at least it's something that people can.
I want to know where you got that. Tell me later.
I found it on Amazon. I'll send you the
send it all around.
Like $10. I'll send it to everybody.
I want one. If I'm gonna have to wear a stupid one, I want one of them. I want one with my logo.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's that it's real thin. But
yeah, I've got it. That's what I said. Whenever we went to Colorado on vacation, I've got that neck gaiter. I said I could blow out a candle through this. There is nothing stopping anything.
I'm gonna go. As a matter of fact, I can do this right here. I can put it inside the internal chat.
Might be super helpful if it's a windy range day, regardless.
Well, and like I said, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it could be a nice neck thing. I'm not going to wear I've got a schmog, but I'm not going to sit there and wear a fucking schmog around SHOT Show. But range day or whatever, yeah, it'd be a neck warmer until I need to pull it up. It's perfect. But hold on here. Matter of fact, let me go to my orders over here.
Well, they keep telling us that mask work. Wear a mask if you can't social distance. That's what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So why are we shutting down anything? Why are we stopping it from happening? If masks work, let's just do it and let's all wear a mask. Exactly. Let's just have it just like normal, except for wearing a stupid mask when you can't social distance. Exactly. There shouldn't be any excuses.
The mask is a prop. It is a
prop. I ain't going to disagree with you, but that's what they're telling us.
And that's why I am actually debating if they're going to make me wear a mask. I may just say fuck you guys and stay home, because
I wouldn't have. I mean, I would hate to see that happen. I would understand why you would do that, but for me, it's just for me. It would be worth wearing the mask to go to SHOT Show, But everyone's different, I wouldn't. I'm not going to condemn you for.
I don't like doing something I don't believe in just to go along to get with the crowd. Honestly, if I go, it's probably for Mitch and Jeremy and Kim and TJ, because it would potentially wreck things for my team if I don't go and they want to go. But I'm telling you, I've got huge problems with just going along to get along. I don't believe in that.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm just saying I don't have any problem with that. I'm just saying for me, it's worth getting along to get along. For me to go to SHOT, that SHOT's for me, it's important enough to wear that.
Now, if you said AVN, I'd be like, well, yeah, but shot.
Mm-hmm. Well, that way they can't see. That'll catch your drool if you're wearing a neck gaiter.
So I thought it was $10. Now it might be $10 with shipping. It's actually $6. I'll put the link inside the internal chat.
Oh my!
It's $6, and it's white. But I don't know. I can't remember if you had. Okay. So it was $6 plus $5.99 shipping. So it comes out to $11.99, and you can put text, you can put a logo, whatever you want. But the link's inside the chat internal.
I feel like this was clearly
company,
an affiliate link.
Same company on eBay, $9.99 with free shipping.
What's that now?
Same company on eBay, $9.99 with free shipping.
Okay, so yeah, but yeah, it cost me $11 shipped, and it got here in about 2 weeks, which really isn't that bad. But like I said, it's paper thin. I mean, you can see right through it. Like I said, you can use it as a neck warmer. But I was thinking, if you go to SHOT Show or any event that thought I need Ghost, who goes Ghost Tactical, and you're having to wear a mask, at least you can walk around and at least be able to identify you.
Well, I did find one on Amazon for $11.99 plus $4.50 shipping. It's more, but you can get it in different colors.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think this one was just a white one, which was fine. As a matter of fact, I probably wanted a white, and I probably searched for a white custom gator or something. So yeah, I mean they're cheap. I mean, you can get them out there for, let's say, for $15 is the max you're gonna have to spend. I think they're well worth it. I mean, and you can have that forever. If you ever needed something else, I mean, worst case scenario, it's a neck warmer. There you go. I might have you guys sign this or something. That'd be kind of fun. The Corona SHOT Show. Have everyone's signature on this.
You know what? That would be kind of cool. With I survived the Corona SHOT Show or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, you could concentrate all of those Sharpie ink fumes too. You'll be like huffing while you're doing it.
Absolutely.
Hey, don't get high on your own supply, but I can get high on your Sharpie fumes.
I like that. That's a cool idea.
So, and I might even go get another one, and give one away to a patron or something. Give everyone maybe sign something and a little Ghost Tactical net gator out there,
like you did the flag or whatever.
Yeah. Yep, I still got a flag around here too. I might bring that flag. I had to get like 3 of them or 4 of them to get a good price, so I've got several of them. So I might bring another flag. I think I brought it to SHOT and to NRAM that one year and got as many as I could.
It costs $17.25 ship, but I have a black one ordered.
Oh, there you go.
With my logo.
Well, black with your logo looked pretty cool, actually. Are you using the logo, your little avatar there?
Just my avatar.
Yeah, that would look cool on a black one. But yeah, so that came in a couple days ago. Like I said, I ordered a couple weeks ago. It came in, and
mine says October 16th to 25th or something, but I ain't no rush or anything.
Well, mine said by October 7th. But I got it this last week, so it took me about 2 weeks instead of a month. So if it says a month away, it'll probably take 2 weeks, just like mine did. But I like this one because it's got the ear hole slit, so it'll stay up on the ear to where it won't slide down. It's a little more comfortable. I don't know. Like I said, for $11, can't beat it.
If it's decent when I get it, I'll probably order.
It's got a thing that hangs over your ear.
Well, yeah. So on this one, see, it's got a little on each side. It's got a hole.
Oh,
so you put it down, you just hook it on your ear, so you can pull it down, and the whole thing doesn't. If you don't want it to, the whole thing doesn't have to come down. You just got to pull it down here, and it will steal on your ears. You just pull it up whenever you need to, or you can not use them. But they've got the little slots on each side to hang on your ears. Should you want that? I didn't know that until I just picked it up. So,
I mean, back before the Corona was the only sick you got. I remember. I wore a neck gaiter a lot in winter and stuff. I liked them when it's just windy and cool. They're nice, so I'll have one anyways.
Yep.
I wear a smog. Do you? Yeah. See, I wear a smog quite a bit, but like I said, I'm not going to wear a smog around SHOT Show. I might take it to range day, but those things are big, and I'm not going to wear that around SHOT Show. So, I don't know. I'd rather wear this than a mask.
Totally.
So,
and I can breathe through those easily.
I ordered another one that had like an American flag, and I got one that has like the Marine Corps logo and stuff. So I've got several of them now. I have to wear one at work. So which sucks. It is what it is.
When this coronavirus stuff is over, you can always use that for a T-shirt for your pup there too. It'd be about the perfect
There you go.
time.
That
But by the time the coronavirus is over, it ain't going to fit her no more.
It doesn't fit her now. She's already about 60 pounds and she's just 5 months old. So I don't think that's going to fit her very well. I'd say what I might end up doing though is I might have to cut this because I don't want, like, if I pull up here, that's a lot to just kind of bundle up here. So I might have to end up cutting it a little bit, maybe hem it up or something just to have, I don't know.
You're out there at that cold range day. You're going to wish you hadn't done that.
No, well, I mean, I'll bring multiple ones probably. Like I said, I'm gonna put this on. If I like it, I'll probably order a couple more of these, maybe 2 or 3 more of these, so I could have one that's short, one that's long, or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Oh, the beagle, the baby beagle. It's not a baby, but
Beagle.
is she? Is that a beagle or is that a hound?
It's a beagle.
Okay,
It's a beagle.
that's bigger ears than on normal beagles, though. How old is she or he?
Oh, she's 9 or so.
Oh, okay, so she's got a while to go. They live pretty long, don't they?
Yeah, she's getting pretty old though.
They say that beagles are the smartest dogs in the world.
Well, she's pretty smart. She knows to come to bed at bedtime so she can get a Slim Jim before bedtime every night.
Get her candy fix or her non-candy fix.
Literally, she gets a Slim Jim every night before bed. We have to buy a box of Slim Jims every week for her. Over years. Nobody else even eats them but her.
Do you get them in the candy aisle?
Well, they're across from the candy in Walmart, so.
Good Lord. Oh, all right. Well, I'm thanks for Rich White out there. Rich is kind of putting different stuff. I haven't watched. I'll probably go back and watch the highlights or something later. But Rich has been doing a decent job of keeping us up to date on Biden's fiasco out there. So thanks for that. Interesting discussion. Like I said, it's been 2 hours, and I didn't know it was 2 hours. So sorry. I know that most everyone left when the debate started. So thanks for the people that are still out there watching. It's good. So I will say this: we were talking about SHOT Show and the possibility of a lot of people not going, especially maybe from the media side. So if you have ever thought about going to SHOT Show and you want to, and you never really had thought you could or get in or there'd be enough space this year, I would be willing to bet that this would be the year probably that you could to get in, even with a low sub count possible, because if a lot of these media spots, the 2,500 allotment isn't being used, they're going to want to fill those up with cameras. So if you've ever thought about going to SHOT and you're able and willing to go, both financially and time-wise, this might be the year. So I'm going to put a link out there that gets you guys, excuse me, to be able to register as media if you're actually going to go as media. If you've got a channel or you've got something that you want to do as media, what I'm going to do is put this link out in the chat that'll take you directly to the site that you can register as media. And if you have any questions, there are certain things that you're probably going to want to know ahead of time, that things, kind of tricks that will help you down the road and get you approved, possibly even with a lower sub count. Let one of us know, because all of us have been, we've all been under, now Gary even got in under his own channel this year, but there are certain things and helpful hints and tips that you can do to put maybe a little more help into getting approved. So reach out to one of us. I'm available anytime you guys want to talk. Clover, I know Snob, Gizzard, and Jeff have all been there. They can help you as well. If you're interested in going but don't know how and have some questions, get a hold of one of us. And I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm assuming that all of us would be more than happy to help anyone that wants to go. So this might be the year. What's that?
I said absolutely.
Yeah. So let's start running through the room. Jeffrey, we're going to start with you. Tomorrow might be a monumental day. You might get your Humvee, and you have This Week in Gear Report tomorrow night. So do you want to plug what's going on at Gear Report and plug anything else you want to talk about?
So I just did a calculation, 4.9 hours at 55 miles an hour for the driver to cover the remaining distance to my house as of the text that arrived 3.5 minutes ago. Although the message didn't say I'm 270 miles away and will be there in 5 hours. It said 270 miles away and looking for a place to rest, which I'm surprised.
You can see tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm surprised she made it that far before stopping to rest. So, so figure what, 4 or 5 hours of driving. That should be midday tomorrow.
Wake up at 8 o'clock and get on the road. Sure, absolutely.
That means I can get up, get some stuff done in the morning. That'll be awesome. You know what? I had really high expectations coming into this show.
I'm sorry to let you down.
You know, there were a couple minutes where I was like, whoa, this isn't like it normally is. But then I realized it was better. So being a part of this, it made my week. This is the highlight of my week.
That is till the Humvee shows up tomorrow.
If the Humvee shows up tomorrow, then
maybe overall.
Then he'll forget about this.
Yeah.
As Humvee showing up.
It's seriously, this Humvee is the most money I've ever spent on a vehicle.
But it's also, you're going to be one of only a few that has this particular model in the world.
Yeah.
Civilian wise.
Yep. And have you seen all the stuff I've got to put in it and on it already?
Well, I know that he's put some pictures, and then we talked a week or two ago, and it was apparently between trades and money switching hands and all of that. Apparently there was a lot of things that you've acquired in the last couple of weeks.
A lot of things. I'm going wholesale pimp my ride on this sucker. It's going to be
the neon lights underneath.
I don't think I have any yet, but man, I'll tell you.
Some Chinese place in Amazon can send you some card lights, neon lights.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I know you're trying to wrap up, but I'm curious from the other people on the panel. I had the Chinesium request had kind of dried up for a while, and the past week or two I've been pounded by them. I'm just curious if anyone else is seeing an uptick on Chinese companies reaching out for absolutely ridiculous items.
Every day. Matter of fact, I got one in today, right? So I got one and it reached out to me, and I literally every day will get something. We're outdoor backpacks and bags. I get that shit every day. I get all sorts of stuff literally every day. And I usually time I say, no, thank you. Or I'll send them to Calaveras or someone else, say, hey, I don't have the time. This guy could probably help you out. But I got one that arrived today. They contacted me last week, and it is a Chinese knockoff of a GoPro.
Interesting.
And I can't remember the name. The brand is AKAS, I don't know, Akasa, or I don't know. But I was looking at it when they sent it to me. They gave me a link and all that. Would you be interested? Sure. And it was like a $70, 4K. So it comes in today. And here's my thing. I think it's a GoPro. I think it's a GoPro that had like a blemish or something that maybe GoPro said no. But the reviews were like, works great in 1080p. 4K is iffy. So maybe these are GoPros that didn't do really well in 4K. So GoPro says, no, they're a blemish. We don't want them. So they look exactly like it. And it comes with a box that's got like 20, every single damn attachment. Now, I don't know if they said it because I'm reviewing it for them or it comes with it naturally. But I have like 30 different attachments that this can get attached to. Cool. And it's for $70. And you know what? If the 4K doesn't work, so be it. But every review on Amazon says that 1080p works fine. That's all I need.
Does it have stabilization? Have you tried it yet?
It's in a box still. I literally haven't. I mean, it arrived today. My wife said, "Do you want anything from Amazon?" I was like, "No." And she's like, "You got a box?" And I was like, I looked and I was like, "Oh, they sent me this little GoPro thing."
Yeah.
I don't know that organization or not.
If it works okay, share that contact around.
I will.
With all the sailing videos, I need good action cameras and I need cameras to stick all over the vehicle when we're out doing stupid shit. So,
I could use a target camera.
There you and see what I've got. I've got oh hell, is it right here? No, I've got an attachment that you can on a Picatinny rail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can attach a GoPro. So I think I'll utilize it for that. I already use a GoPro for target cams, but now I can get multiple. I mean, but it looks just like a GoPro. So I'm convinced, and it comes with a thing you put on the front lens that you focus or zoom in, zoom out on it. I'm convinced this is like something that GoPro didn't, blemished it for some reason, the factory, and they just slapped another name on there. Who knows? But it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Introduce us around. I think
I will. I think I'm going to try to get to the range tomorrow a little bit, so I'm going to try it out then. So
I call them faux pros. I've been using the fake GoPros for years. I absolutely love them. As long as you don't need stabilization. So I'm interested to see if that's got
stabilization. Well, I use a tripod anyways when I attach it to a tripod, so the stabilization thing doesn't necessarily is it a game breaker. Let's see if I can find that contact. I'll send it to you guys in an email if you guys are interested. His name is Tony, I think. It's Tony I think it was
Tony Wong or whatever. He's mad at me. Finally. Yeah. I finally got rid of him.
I know that guy.
They're all Tony. They're all Tony. I sit there and say, I know your name's not Tony, so let's not start our relationship out on a lie. Let's be honest. And the funny ones are from India. Hello, this is Brian. No, your name's not Brian. It's okay, but your name is not Brian.
You're not Bob from Des Moines. I can tell by your accent.
Right. Congrats on the new ride. Who got a new ride?
Probably Jeff.
Oh, he might be saying it to Jeff. Yeah. Biden says there is no organized Antifa. That's just an idea. What is he smoking? Yeah.
I did like Ridge's comment that Chris Wallace called out Biden on saying they were peaceful protests.
Yeah, that's awesome. I put that up on the screen earlier. I thought that was great. Chris Wallace, you take him or leave him, but one thing I do like about Chris is he's not afraid to speak his mind. So
I'm still mad that Ahmed didn't moderate this debate. I'm upset about this because I seen the one he moderated and it was pretty good.
Which one did he moderate?
Ahmed, did you not see the video? The Jeff Dunham video?
I haven't seen that yet. No.
Oh, I'll get you a link for it. It's great.
I've heard about it.
Grumpy
talking about it, but
Donald Grump and Joe Hyden.
I haven't seen it yet.
Or Ben Hyden.
Ahmed, who is Ahmed?
He's the dead terrorist. Jeff Dunham's dead terrorist. Dummy.
You gotta see that. All right, yeah, send me the link because I haven't. People have been talking about it, but I haven't seen it yet. It's awesome. Yeah. All right, Gary, go ahead and do your plugs.
All right. Well, I should have a video out this week. Of course, Friday night, Foul Territory, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Early bird chat on Sunday mornings. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And thanks for watching and thanks for having me.
Always, my man. Always. And we're trying to get Gary. He's close. He's already been approved for shot, which is great. We're still trying to get him to 1,000. You're pretty close now, aren't you? Are you inside 100 now? 150?
No, not quite. I'm 845, I believe.
Okay, so we need 155 more people to get out there and get Gary to 1,000. Once again, Snob hit 5. Clover's coming up on 5. We don't know what Jeff is because he doesn't publicize the subscriber count on Gear Report. So he might have 4. He might have 400 million subscribers on Gear Report.
Between us, I am about 50 away from a next milestone. So
okay, well, let's get over there and subscribe to Gear Report. First of all, great content over there. And I'm assuming if you're a Humvee person, I'm assuming that over the next month or two, there's going to be a flood of Humvee videos on there. Will there not be? And your new sailing thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Snob. Appreciate it. Let me copy that.
It's worth the watch. It's hilarious.
Paste it, and I will go back to that here in a little bit. Yeah, thanks for Gary for coming on. Appreciate you. Yeah, go check out Foul Territory on Friday nights. The early bird chat on Sundays are great. It goes from 9 to 1 Central Time. I'm at work every Sunday, and I jump in every now and then when I can. When I have this little downtime for 5 or 10 minutes here or there. More importantly, I put my earbuds on, and it gets me through Sunday mornings at work. So thank you for doing that show. I really, seriously, I do appreciate that. I look forward to Sunday mornings because now it takes me to kick off of the NFL, so I can start watching or listening to it at 9, and at noon I can go to kick off whatever game's playing. But I'm at work, and it's wonderful. So thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you,
Snobby. What you got coming up? And I know you've been doing research for the last couple hours. So what you got coming up?
Well, stuff
and things.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do a top 10 worst states because it's been highly requested in my video comments. So I decided I'd do that. So,
well, here's the thing. Like I said, we said in the pre-chat, I think that everyone can probably list the top 10 states. Don't know what order they would be in, but we can at least get probably 7 or 8 out of the 10 states just by kind of knowing what's going on. But I'd like to see statistically where they rank. I'm still a little pissed off at Arkansas not being in the top 10. You say it was number 11. I think that's bullshit. But I think you're just saying that.
I may have told everybody their state was number 11.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do on my list and say, well, what about this? Oh, it would have been an honorable mention. It was close. It was. I really thought hard about that.
That's what I've started doing now because everybody asks about their state, and I'm like, it wasn't very far down because I don't remember what order they were in. Now I'd have to go back and find my notes whenever you get past the top 10.
I thought about that. It was close, man. It was close to cracking that list. You know
that, and I figured out how to make people mad when you tell them the Indianans. They're all so mad about Indiana, and I'm like, it didn't even make anything because it had a red flag law, so it didn't even get on the list at all. And they just blow a gasket. Well, we've had that for 15 years and it hasn't been abused. I was like,
and you also haven't nullified it either. You know?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it's not a problem, but
yeah. Are you gonna do any live stuff this weekend, or whose turn is it for the Hens chat?
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have one. Who knows? Sarge may be working.
That's true. All right, well, thanks for coming on, and hopefully I get to see you. What the hell? You too, Rob. Be good. Be safe out there, brother. So you told me Arkansas was 11. Thunder said you said Mississippi was number 11. Once again, he said every state was number 11 except for like New York, California, New Jersey, and Illinois.
They were all number 12.
11. Yeah, they were 12 to 15, somewhere in there. Yeah, every state's number 11, man. And Buck lives half an hour from me. He says, and we have an AR aim. So this Buck, I don't know if you were here earlier on. Someone said, are we the tactical Kansas? I think that since we have an AR in front of our Kansas, where Gary lives is the FUD Kansas. We're the tactical Kansas with the AR. So absolutely. All right. Thanks for coming on, bud. Clover, what you got coming down the line?
Man, if people aren't watching and keeping up with me by now, then they probably aren't going to. So I'm just going to say I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. I hope they don't let the debates get their blood pressure too high because politics is mostly theater. And it was a great chat. Enjoyed it.
It was fun. Do you have a topic or do you want to announce the topic for Thursday, or do you want to wait?
I've seriously considered it. It's been a while. There's been a lot of stuff we've talked about, from self-certification to the new shorts feature and a lot of other things lately. Got to looking at the topics, and we haven't done a channel review edition in a while. So I've still got tons of suggestions from the last time when I got like 40 something channels that people sent in. So still got plenty of those to use, and we may just do a little channel review, promotion and review episode of the podcast. Yeah.
Right on. For me, I'll have a video on this lovely thing. It's the CZP10S that'll be dropping. I can't remember if I scheduled it for Friday or Saturday. Don't know. Sometime this weekend, the video for that will be dropping. Something happened today, which I think it's whatever. But I got an email that I have now been available to open the YouTube channel membership. So for some of you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you might see a button that says join. If you want to do that, by no means are we saying we want you to or you need to, but it's basically a thing kind of like Patreon, where it's a monthly subscription to the channel here, where you'll get some behind the scenes different things. If you're interested in supporting the channel, by all means, hit that join button, read through. So you'll get the cool thing that you'll be able to get is you'll get when you're in a live chat, you'll get an avatar. And what I have decided, thanks to, I want to say it was Ozzy. I think Ozzy was the one who mentioned it the other night. Ironically, I get an email 3 days later saying that it's available to me now as the membership thing. But I decided to make my little club. We call them the Crayon Eaters, and we're gonna be on YouTube. Your little avatar next to your name will have a crayon next to you, and it'll say the Ghost Tactical Crayon Eaters. And I think there's different colors for however many months you've been a member of the channel or whatever. But if you're interested in that, great. They're going to take a large chunk from it, but it's available, so it's out there. If you want to, great. If not, it's not going to hurt my feelings. If you don't, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change the channel. They don't, the members are just going to maybe get some behind the scenes stuff and different things like that. But the channel, you're still going to get the same videos that everyone else gets. They might get them earlier and stuff like that. But I thought it was interesting. It's kind of cool. I didn't know when that threshold was, but apparently I hit the threshold for the membership thing. So it is what it is, but I thought that was cool when it announced that. If you want to click that, if you hit the join button, you're not automatically in it. So you can hit the join button and kind of read what it is all about. So
I missed, I had a phone call. So what are you talking about? Because it sounds interesting.
Well, I got an email from YouTube this morning that said that my channel is now eligible for the YouTube channel membership. And if you look on my videos or my channel, there'll be a join button. And it's kind of like a Patreon where there's different levels that people can do per month to support the channel. And they do it's through YouTube instead of going through Patreon. So they're doing their own kind of like a Patreon thing where it's crowdfunding, except I know Clover's going to have a conniption fix. Patreon's more than just doing the supporting money and all that, but there is something on YouTube is now offering, and I guess our channel is eligible for it now. So there is a join button on our page or any of our videos. And like I said, I think there's 3 different levels and there's different things that come with those levels. So like I said, if you're interested, great. If not, great. It's not going to hurt my feelings one bit if I don't get one person to sign up. I still have all my buddies over on Patreon. But once again, if you're on YouTube, click it or don't click it. But I wanted to make it aware. If people might have seen the join button and might not know what that has meant this whole time, now you know. That's what that is for. So anyway, so yeah. Thanks for watching. If you guys are watching live, thanks for everyone out there watching live. I really appreciate you, and especially people out there that were watching earlier before the debate started. Thank you. If you're listening in replay or listening to podcast and you made it this far, holy hell, thank you. Bless you. We do appreciate all that. We appreciate all our Patreon members. Thank you for all that you do. You guys have helped out with some ammo, offsetting some ammo costs. I've had to buy some ammo lately just to get a couple of things done that I was some interesting calibers that I didn't have at the house. Prices are high. It was my first experience to buy stuff that was severely overpriced, put it that way. Had to go buy some X39. Holy hell, are people really charging an arm and a leg for 7.62 by 39? So anyways, it is what it is. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys next week. And anybody else have anything else they want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, the call I took was the driver saying the Humvee will arrive at 7 a.m. And I said, no, sleep longer. I'm going to take my son to the dentist at 7:30. And when we get back, the shiny new truck should be there waiting to be pressure washed. So
I expect to see videos by 10, or at least a picture on Instagram by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon. Semper Fidelis.